Welcome, Gio. We have, I don't know if we'll have time for the story of your drama this morning, but Gio and I are here with Matt. Matt is on vacation with his wife. He just showed me through the curtain. This is the beauty of Zoom backgrounds. You know, like Teams, Gio, AY uses Teams. That is like the worst platform. You can't hide. You can't hide. You can't enhance your skin. Can't do anything. So if you're watching us on video, Matt has this nice like background up, but behind him is the beach and his lovely wife. And so probably we'd like to get back to that. So you have a policy of like date weekend with your wife, like once a quarter?
Yeah, I'd say it's a little more often that. First, thanks for inviting me to your podcast, both you guys. It's great to see you.
Well, thanks for coming while you're on a like getaway with your wife.
Yeah, we have 3 young children, 7, 6, and 4.
Wait, and a puppy.
Oh yeah, well, and we have a cat, and we just got a puppy. So I don't know. Call me a masochist.
Yes,
it's very fun, but it doesn't create this wonderful relationship, romantic relationship with your spouse. So we try at least every 2 months to get away for at least one night, and then we live in Southern LA, and so we shot down to La Jolla for just a couple of days. And my wife's a big tennis fan. There's a women's tennis tournament going on. She's like, "Why don't you come down, join me? I'll go to the tournament. You work, and we'll hang out." So yeah, we recharge. We realize we actually do like and love each other. And then we're kind of ready to go for another month or two with the kids. Yeah, it's a good formula. It's working for us. Yeah.
I was thinking somebody should really counsel like young families to live near parents. Because we live states and states away from our parents. And so it's like almost impossible to leave a kid and a dog and whatever with babysitters. It's just not. Yeah. It's hard.
Or just figure out the budget. Be like, okay, I need to budget in some kind of help that so we can, make sure our marriage lasts.
Exactly. No, but I was thinking about like
another podcast, right? But yeah, it's trying. Never mind, segue warning. This is never mind, running these businesses that need a lot of attention and are growing and are shifting and are changing, right? So yeah, need some recharge time for myself as well as with my most important relationship, and it works. So yeah.
So this is an uncensored statement. So I'm sorry. It's because you're white and you don't understand it. I live 2 blocks from my parents, and my mom calls me every morning and says, "At what time can I pick up Guido?"
Totally.
And she picks up the dog, or I drop them off at daycare and then they pick them up. I go out of town and I know that I've got a built-in babysitter without any problems, right? If it was up to my mom, I would still be living at home. My sister's 44 and lives at home. So yeah, I think a lot of it's cultural, right?
Totally cultural, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Filipino families are, the whole everybody supports each other and it takes a village, and yes, it is. Yeah. Anyway, wait, I didn't introduce Matt. Matt is the co-founder of Anytime Mailbox. He is also a board member of the Global Workspace Association, and we're excited to chat with him today. We dove right into the uncensored stuff, Matt. That's what we do.
And
here.
Matt's white.
Okay.
With a mustache.
Very.
I am talking to 2 men with mustaches. Although yours is like
it's about to go away. It's been blended in. Speaking of, guess what's going tomorrow?
Oh, are you doing
tomorrow? The hair's gone. So
wow.
I'll
send a photo.
I'll video it.
Okay.
So people keep asking me how short I'm going. I'm like, I have no idea how short it's going to be when we cut, because literally you have to put in a ponytail and you cut up the top of the ponytail.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what she's going to have to work with when we're done. I may look like, Matt's hair by the time I'm done. Fleb's going to be very excited because you'll have the prettiest hair again.
Totally. Competition will be temporarily.
Well, it'll grow back.
Listen, I've got some pretty good hair. I'm not getting any props for my hair. I mean, it doesn't
look
like
hair.
This background. It is kind of fuzzy, right? But I've always had some nice compliments about my hair, but not from anybody in this industry, sadly. So
there's too much competition.
I guess that's right. The bar is really high.
The bar is high for hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Nick Clark has great hair too. I mean, I know he grows it out and then he cuts it. And
Nick Clark does have great hair. Yeah, you're totally right.
Either way, we're off topic.
let's swing back.
Slightly.
Okay, so Matt, tell us about Anytime Mailbox and how did you get into this business?
Well, so I'm just realizing we've been at this about 9 years now, which seems, crazy. I think for any entrepreneur, when you have an idea and you launch it, you're, I don't know, hoping to get to the next month or the next year. And you have these big aspirations, but you quickly realize, wow, this is tough. And there's a lot of moving parts here and a lot to navigate. So my business partner, who's Marcel Buki, he's the CTO, I'm CEO. So he handles really all the tech work. He's a developer. We've got a pretty big in-house team now, but it was just the two of us to start off, and we were working together in the same business. We were not owners of that business, and one of the services that we needed for that business was virtual addresses. So we had several virtual addresses throughout the U.S., both in at Cowork locations as well as PO box stores, and it was just, we realized, like, wow, this is to run our business, to get mail forwarded once a week. And it was, usually all junk. And if there was something important in there, you wanted it sooner. We were like, this is terrible. Let's find another company. We need to find another service out there. So we looked, we ran across Earth Class Mail that had a couple of their own locations in like maybe 4 regional locations in the US, and they were really expensive. We looked at each other, we were like, why don't we do this? And that's how we started. And we said, there's this whole infrastructure that we're talking to now already. Why don't, Marcel said, I'll build a white label platform, and you go out and sell it to these operators, and let's see if we can get a business going here. So we quit our jobs. I cold called a bunch of PO box stores in the LA area, as well as Cowork operators, and said, what do you think about this idea? And pretty much all of them said, nah, I don't like it. But we knew as consumers of the service, we were like, there's something here. We just have to figure out how to do it. And
wait, what year were you making the phone calls?
Yeah, 2013.
That was pretty early in co-working world, although executive suites have been doing mail for decades.
Yeah. There were executive suites around for sure. And so yeah, we launched based on that, and now.
Based on your later, positive market research.
Yeah. And by the way, we are very much, we still try to be really nimble. We should do much more market research. We're going to get into our new product launch anytime postage here, but we're like, neither one of us are MBAs. We just say, you know what, we want this, so let's try. And then we kind of figure it out as we go. And that's how Anytime Mailbox is grown as well. And now we're, almost 1,800 locations using our platform in nearly 50 countries. Most of that's the US, but it sounds good to say in 50 countries, and we are in 50 countries. So yeah, it's working out well.
So excuse the ignorance, how do you charge? What is pricing?
Yeah, so the way we make money is we publish operators. So an operator is a Cowork operator. We publish an address on our website, and then we go out and we have a significant marketing spend and a big marketing team where we're driving traffic to our website, like some of the aggregators or the folks that are out there doing that service today. And so we allow the operators to charge whatever they want for the service. So we do not dictate pricing. There's full flexibility, not only in the recurring fee for the address or the mailbox, but also for the ancillary services like forwarding mail, open and scanning content.
Storage is my favorite. Yeah.
Storage. Storage accounts for 15-20%.
Was it Sid? Sid, I feel like it was Sid somewhere who's talking about the storage fees they make, or like I think they have somebody who just their mail just sits there, and they make hundreds of dollars a month on storage fees.
Yeah. That's right. The recipient of the mail, we call them renters. The mailbox renter takes no action on the mail, and it sits there. And there's a modest fee every day or week or month, depending on how you structure the pricing, and you make money on that. And as long as it doesn't get the fee isn't too egregious, yeah, people just pay it. But so the way we charge operators is we have a per mailbox fee per month, in addition to a modest subscription fee for the software. And that's it. So I was talking to a prospect the other day about anytime postage, and we were talking about pricing for that. And he said, yeah, you do it like anytime mailbox. It's like a no brainer. You just get published on your website, and there's no cost, right? There's a $100 deposit to sign up that's refundable after a year. And we just did that because we want to make sure they're like, someone's at least a little bit real when they sign up. And then you're on our website, and then mail can, then we start generating customers for you. And then you only pay when we generate a customer. Now, the other part of the model is if you generate customers directly as an operator, that's substantially less expensive. And that's a per mailbox fee per month, and of course it's prorated. And we have, which is, by the way, very underserved in the co-work industry. People are not offering mail, what I would call enhanced inbound mail services to their customer base. I think it's not just because, because this is what we do, right? But it's like, you're already managing mail with just a tiny bit of extra work. You can provide a really big differentiator for your customer base, for a service that no one really likes to deal with, the recipient of the mail. The executive center out of Asia, they are, sort of the 5-star co-work op in Asia. Moved all their physical customers, their virtual customers, their service. Did you catch all that? It looked like we froze a little bit.
Yeah, I heard it.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I heard most of it. Maybe I was trying to figure out who.
I didn't see any facial expressions from Jamie.
You cut in briefly. So sorry. There's a facial expression.
Okay. Yeah.
Better.
Yeah. So bottom mailbox per mailbox per month as a flat rate and with a modest subscription fee.
So the other differentiator is that you have a digital app. You have an app that manages the mail. So unlike some of the providers where it's like email processing of mail, very analog, yours is all digital.
Yeah, it's all digital. It's not just an alerting service. So just how it works is a mail item comes in for a renter, the virtual customer, if you will, and the operator uses our app to scan the front of the envelope. It's not even scan the front of it. It's take a picture. At the same time, you can assign it to the renter. So you pick the renter's name, and then you take a photo of the mail, and it takes seconds per mail. We have the biggest complaint operators have is like, oh, forever to upload the mail, and we have operators who have 50 customers on our platform, and they just use the app to upload mail. They don't have any additional tools, and it's like, yeah, it takes no time at all because it doesn't. It's easy.
Super easy. Okay, wait, Gio can jump in a second, but I have one more important question, which is that Instagram started showing me some very aspirational ads. Is that new?
Is this through us?
Yeah, it was an entity.
Oh, I thought I'm sorry. I thought you said Gio.
Oh,
Gio, really?
Yeah, no. I was saying, yeah, I'll let Gio ask some questions, but yeah, like a very aspirational, I'm starting a business, you're here for me, sort of, or we're here for you, sort of message.
Yeah, so we know we've invested heavily in a couple areas in the company the last year and a half, 2 years. One is content creation, and the other is data. Really understanding our data, because we're well into the 6 figures for our customer base, the renter base, and so there's a lot of information in there. I mean, when you start digging into that and opening up, man, it is hard to get there. It's hard to find the staff to hire to do it, and then once they're in there, it takes a while to set up the systems. We use Microsoft BI as our platform to publish the data internally. But we know that most of our customers, the vast majority of our customers, are small businesses, solopreneurs, these startups, and so that's who we're targeting on the content side. And so if you look at where we rank in our industry for in Instagram, for example. I actually just saw it the other day. We're one of the top. We're one of the top by all measurements for that. And it's just, that's another grind, right? It's we have been going at it for years now, and really the last 2 years is every day, publish every day, some post something, right? Something. We're now every week we're publishing a longer form article on our blog, and it's just, this is an investment. Relying on paid search forever is not a great long-term business strategy, and so you need to have it. You need to have it in the mix. We will always have it, but we just keep investing in this sort of organic, and it, over time it pays off. I mean, it's kind of like a lot of things in life. Oh man, this is miserable working out, right? All of it, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, look at me, right? And that's starting to pay off and to happen for us, and we hear a lot about it as well.
Well, good. Well, let's jump into the latest and greatest that you were showing off at GWA, and then you flew over the pond and showed it off at Juicy. Why don't you talk to us about your latest project and kind of how that came about, and your partnership that had kicked it off, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, thanks. So that new product is called it's Anytime Postage, and it's a self-serve shipping kiosk. So it's super complementary to our existing business. So I think about Anytime Mailbox as an inbound mail management platform, and that's both, again, for the physical customers as well as virtual. And so we'd been talking to IWG, and they said, you know, we really like this Anytime Mailbox thing, but we've got a problem with our outbound mail, right? It's very challenging, right? It's expensive. It's challenging in a lot of ways. There's a lot of carriers and vendors. Our staffing can be difficult. Our customers want a service, but in some locations we have services, some locations we don't. Never mind different countries, all the rules around that. Can you help us? And I'm sure this is not a unique situation, right? Every operator has an issue with both inbound and outbound mail and how to manage it properly. And so we said, yeah, let's get back to you. And so, really credit Marcel for this. He developed the idea, the invention, really, around a self-serve shipping kiosk. And it's much like when you're checking luggage into for traveling, for air travel at the airport, or even checking out at the grocery store. It's the same type of manufacturer we're using. So we built this all in-house, but the same type of manufacturer, where it's a standalone device that's maybe 2 feet tall and 1.5 feet wide. There's a scale on it and a screen, and so you can put anybody can put a mail or parcel on the scale. It's up to 33 pounds. You say where you want to send it to, and then it goes out. We have relationships with all the major carriers, and it comes back with rates and service levels. You can pick which one you want. You pay for it through various payment methods within the kiosk. And it prints out a 4x6 label, and then says, bring it here, bring it there within the co-work space, bring it to reception, or put it in the bin here. And it's fully white labeled. And so we presented this to Regis, or IWG. They were like, whoa, this looks good. Let's do a trial. We did a trial in Singapore and in the US for almost a year. It's a long trial. And they came back and said, we want to order 500. How quickly can you get them to us? And we're going to roll this out in the US, Canada, Netherlands, and Australia. And so we're launching that early next month. We're right in sort of the final stages of getting that out the door. And it just, yeah, thank you. Wunderbar. Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh, that's exactly what I was doing. I was like, I'm going to beat
you.
Image, because I was like, it's so cute. It's like it's a great design. You're adorable, Gio, and so is the what is it called? The postage mate.
Anytime postage. Yeah, self-serve shipping kiosk and companies. Anytime postage.
It looks great. I'm happy to have that at the front desk or next.
FedEx is sponsored.
Right. FedEx.
Yeah. I was talking to the UPS guys just last week, and I was showing them this. We're going over some things. They were like, "Hey, what you got to change that box?"
Right.
But it's a little bit like Anytime Mailbox. It's just a simple idea that really provides convenience and makes sense. We rolled it out a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, I've been in sales a long time, and not just, again, because it's my company. People are like, wow, this is great. What, tell me more. How can I get it? When can I get it? I mean, it was that type of feedback, because it's just a nice, shipping's a pain, right? And inbound mail management, you have to deal with it, and you can sort of only do wrong. It's hard to do well there, unless you have an enhanced service like ours. And then on the outbound shipping, also a pain, right? With a lot of potential issues and staffing issues. So this is a really nice amenity. You don't need additional staff. Actually, you need less staff for mail management, which is great, and it's a good moneymaker, right? People need to ship things all the time in this e-commerce world. So if you have a device like this in your office, you can say, oh, I've got to send something. I don't have to go to an outbound shipping center today to deal with that. Although that's a big part of our customer base too. They're going to be ordering these as well. I've talked to many people in that industry, that sort of more PO box shipping center industry, and they're like, yeah, we want to have one in our location as well, because it gets busy, and everything is about self-serve shipping. Everything's about self-serve shipping kiosks these days, but it is, right? You see these kiosks everywhere. It's very popular, and we're first to market, and again, not easy to put this whole thing together, and but we've done it, and we're excited about it.
And so kind of what are your expectations for this thing, growth wise and penetration in the market and all that fun stuff?
We again, we're not like the big sort of MBA people, right, who are modeling this out. This is all we have funded our business ourselves the whole way through, and we're funding anytime postage the whole way through as well. But we think we can get at least 50% north penetration within the co-work industry. And I think at least, right? I think it's very, very modest, frankly. And then we're going to be going after the hotel space, think about business centers and the hotel industry. My big market research for this in the last year was, we talked about my wife and I traveling for getaways. Every hotel we went to, I said, I need to ship something. How do I do it? They're like, oh, well, there's this place around the corner you can go to, or do you have an account number? And who knows what their FedEx account number is or how to get it? And I say, no, I don't. They're like, not too sure how to do this either. So
we'd like to help you, but we can't.
Yeah, we'd love to, but please don't ask. I hate it when people ask me that question, right? So we think there's a big application there. I think in retailers as well, because it generates this sort of in-store purchase. Big retailers are all things to drive people. So yeah, we're excited about it. We do think it's a very, very good fit for the co-work industry as well, for hot desks, for folks who are renting conference rooms. Invariably, there's a need to send something, right? And it's always inconvenient when you need to do it. You're like, how am I gonna get this done? And this solves that problem, and again, can provide a differentiator for an operation.
So talk to us about how it's been received. I know you were giving presentations at GWA, and then you went again to Juicy and gave more presentations there. Kind of what were some of the responses you got?
I mean, universally, it was, wow, this looks slick. It looks current. It's a needed solution. And how do we get going on this? I mean, it really was. I gave, I don't know, over 50 demos and a day and a half, and there was a very, very positive, very positive response. And so since then, I've had a number of conversations, and some of the folks, it's and this is sort of early adopter stuff. They're like, yeah, I want people in my. And this is really for a suburban. There was a couple of suburban co-work operators who reached out to me, 2 different ones, and they said, "Yeah, I want this sort of to be known in our area, geographic area, that we have this service, so you can come to our location to ship things." So it's not like they want to become a big shipping center, but they want people to know that it's an option to be able to ship. Also within their building. Right, there's other tenants within the building and say you can come to us to ship.
Is that to get build awareness of is like a marketing tool?
Yeah, I think it's to build awareness about, hey, come to our space and you can, you'll be able to see what's going on here, and and you can make some money. The
Revenue
markup.
Yeah.
So our platform it's fully white labeled, so it's all all branded, and you can really come up with whatever messaging you want on the screen. But we give the option to use your own account number for FedEx or the bigger carriers if you have a relationship with them already. But I think our buying power, particularly on the Anytime Mailbox side, gives us pretty deep discounts. So there's a choice there. But regardless, the typical markup for outbound shipping to the customer is about 30%. And so the mix of that is, I was just looking at these numbers yesterday for something else. The mix is about half of that is like, just first class mail. So there's not a lot of money there, but the other half is priority mail, or what I would call the premium USPS services, and then maybe 10 to 15% are the more expensive FedEx, UPS, overnight. Got to get it there, and I don't care what I pay to get it there, right? And so that's where you could send something for $100, and you're making $30 on that. And this is all. I know one of the things we look at my company is we're always looking for other new revenue streams that we can grow over time and have consistent growth from that. And this just falls into that category. Everyone has this need. It's a super low entry, not hard to manage it, and you're kind of already doing it today to some level, or you should be. So
I have a question: will it be a little bit of a Trojan horse for the digital mail service? Like, will you get operators who haven't gotten on board with sort of managing and growing their mail program, but like they get shipping?
I mean, I hope so. Yeah, I think it could. Listen, it can't hurt, right? It's very, very complimentary. It's at this point, something that COVID did. They say, hey, did that really make your business explode? And I say, it didn't hurt it. That's for sure, right? It helped create some awareness around just that the service is out there. But from our getting relationships with more co-working operators, it helped there a lot, because it really brought awareness of like, wow, you really have to have a strategy and a solution here for mail, period. And so that's certainly happened. And now it's like, okay, well, now that I'm doing that, how can I make it more efficient for my team and for my customers, and make it a differentiator for us as well? And so we continue to see some growth there. I really do think, and this goes back to the beginning of the conversation where we were talking about why we started the business. Just as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, and operating a business, like inbound and outbound mail is a pain. And so I want to find ways to make that easier. And I think I think operators in the co-work industry are already managing mail. Just put some time into it. It is not that tough. It's not that tough to differentiate yourself from the marketplace and provide an enhanced service. Making people's lives easier around mail. I mean, who? So I think we offer good solutions for that. And again, they're really complementary.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think back to your point is, I think as many forms of ancillary business that some of these operators can find, the better off they are, right? Without obviously becoming the Regis of old that was cafeteria plan, where they charge you for every single thing, they nickel and dimed you. But I mean, I think these are great opportunities, right? Where it's self-serve, where we're seeing less and less administrative support, if you will, just because there's so many things we can do now with technology. This is just one more way of trying to plug into that whole bit. Let me ask you a question. This kind of loaded one, so sorry. How do you differentiate yourself to the other mailbox operators out there right now?
Well, for anytime postage, there isn't any competition today. I'm sure it's.
Well, I guess I meant anytime mailbox in general.
Yeah.
Obviously, the postage part is one.
What we hear consistently is, first off, we're really easy to work with, and so I think our culture is about, we view this as a partnership. We're easy to work with. The way our model is set up, we're successful, if you're successful, those types of things. We've taken a lot of effort and care into building out our customer support team. So we're nearly, we've got this little window on Saturday night to midday Sunday. This is Pacific time where we don't offer customer support. Besides that, we're available on voice, chat, email, all the traditional channels. And then operationally, our system is the fastest to be able to upload mail in the easiest UI. We hear these are the three things we hear kind of over and over again. That's all kind of challenging to build, but getting back to this content piece, this investment we put into content creation, which again which helps generate customers for our operating partners and for us as well. These are sort of, I think, smart long-term investments that we've been working on for a while that are really starting to pay off. That's also a big differentiator. I mean, if you go to our competitors' sites, almost, I mean, we're far ahead of most of them, and there's a couple that one in particular that might be near us, but we're surpassing them. Yeah, you're going to see that we put a lot of effort into this, and it just speaks to the type of organization we are, I think. And I'll throw one more point: is we're less expensive than anybody else as well because of our model. Everyone else does a rev share, we don't. We just do flat rate pricing.
Okay, so here's switching
got
gears.
another one.
Now here's switching gears.
I'm ready. Well, hold on.
Jamie and I are big on personality types. Have you ever done the Enneagram test?
I haven't, but Jamie and I were talking offline about something else, and she's like, "You're a 3. I know you're a 3. I know you're a 3," because it was the puppy thing, right? We were talking about the puppy. So we've got, anytime mailboxes.
Your willingness to just continue to pile things into your life and be like, I could totally handle a puppy and 3 small children.
Yeah, and launch a new business and grow and so I have not done it. I need to do it, but I think that's what I hear where I am. My wife talks to me about, like, come on, stop saying yes. And
so
yeah,
true.
it's kind of, but hey, it's kind of fun. I'm happy to report that our puppy, it looks like, is just about potty trained. And so, oh my gosh, it is like, that is hardcore. That's a hardcore invest.
Yes, at least it goes faster.
And it's me, by the way, too, right? I'm the one who I'm the one who's doing.
You're watching wait, is it a girl or a boy?
Girl.
So you're watching her and
Cece.
you're running her outside.
Yeah. We do the crating thing, and so and we've expanded, like we've given her bigger areas in the house. We're kind of following the game plan, and we're doing a little bit of training and all that stuff. And again, it's like, put it in the budget. If you're gonna get a puppy, say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna spend a couple $100 a month on training, because it makes your life a lot easier on the back end. So
100%. Yeah. We need some no barking training. The 2 dogs at once is really where things start to get crazy, because they do things they wouldn't do on their own. I have a kind of an in the weeds question. I'm gonna back out of those philosophical questions. So you mentioned like a suburban operator who's excited about the postal product. Is there, like, do you sort of pull out, so the suburban operator, so my assumption is that operators that are really successful with mail, like, have a great address. And then maybe when you're in less exciting markets, there's not as much opportunity to go, gangbusters with your mail program. Is that true? And would those success factors be different for the outbound shipping product?
So what we found is pretty interesting. Well, first off, let me say, a New York City, a Boston address, I mean, those are always going to be more valuable. That's just how it is. There's more concentration of people there. There's more visibility, but folks are very successfully making this suburban model work. And I think that's the case for mail as well. And we see it was when we first launched the service, there wasn't a mail pickup option at all. because we thought, well, who's going to want to pick up their mail? This is the whole point of the
Right.
service, right? Why would you do that? Well, we had to offer that as a solution because there were a lot of renters who wanted to pick up their mail. Now the other thing about our platform is it's customizable, which is not the case with the others, our competitors, but you can turn off services you don't want to offer, like mail pickup, for example, if you don't want to get into that. But our data shows we see 70% of our customers are within 3 miles of the address they choose. Very shocked to see that number. It's a huge, huge number. They want to be near where the address is.
So that would go to sort of align with my theory of, if you're in a smaller market and there are just fewer people within a 3 mile radius, your market opportunity is smaller.
It's smaller, but I think it's also because you're in a smaller market, right? I mean, yeah, it sort of plays right along to it.
Not
but it's just
scale. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's relevant, and so that's one of those things. I don't know how much you guys have dug into data, but when you start opening up that world, I mean, you can get lost in that for a long time. You're like, okay, I've got to temper myself here because there's so much there and so many rabbit holes you can go down from. It's really from a marketing perspective, right? Of growth hacking, and we're building out, and we've been at it for a while, a growth hacking team. And there's a lot of publicity around that, right? Of hacking growth, and it's all in the data. And it's hard to, as any entrepreneur knows, it's hard to know what to focus on and put attention to and measure it. So putting the right attention to it, it's all, the stuff isn't easy. It's awesome and it's fun and it's pull your hair out and it's scary sometimes, but yeah, we're just thrilled. Yeah, we're really happy with where we are with Anytime Mailbox, and then super psyched about Anytime Postage as well.
So as far as the individual operators and just the data, how is that uploaded into your system? Do they have to do it? Do you have a team that does it? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, so they mean the operators, they do it. The mail arrives to an operator's location, and they just, this is what everyone has to do. They do a sort by whoever the recipient is. And then that operator will scan the front of the envelope and upload it to the renter or the recipient, and that recipient uses our app to view it and then decide what they want to do with the mail. And that could be open and scan, shred it, forward it, throw it out, or I'll come by and pick it up. So the basic things you can do there. And then if a renter says open and scan it, hopefully that's an attorney that wants that 200-page document scanned into a PDF and charge 50 cents a page. You just made $100 right there, right? That took 3 minutes of operational time to get it done, or 5 minutes, right? Not a big deal.
Well, let me ask my question a different way. So the operators, like, they have individual locations, everything else. How is that uploaded in your system so people can find them?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, just on our website, we're this is where our marketing efforts come into play. Mm-hmm. We're got thousands and thousands of keywords and key phrases and all that we're doing on the content side to drive traffic to our site. When they get on our site, the person searching puts in an address of where they want to address, and then we present all the locations that are offering services there today. Does that answer your question, Gio? Is that right? And then we take them through, we just take them through a typical order flow process or sign up process. Something that's a requirement is the ID verification. That's a big deal. So there's this
in the US.
In the US, and it's even a bigger deal in some other countries. Like, there are very stringent rules in the United Kingdom and really the EU. Everything in the EU is stringent around the regulatory environment. But the US is starting to catch up. There's some rules that are changing within the USPS. They just published these rules recently, and so you have to upload your the IDs that you have for your customers. If you're a CMRA, which if you have any virtual at all, you need to become a CMRA. Jamie, I know you've kind of harped on this because your mail could get shut down until you get your act together, which could be a while. So there is a new regulation or policy for the USPS where you have to upload that data, the IDs, into their database, the USPS's database. And this it went into effect on October 1st, and no one's really sure how to do it. And it's going to, I think, take some time for it to get rolled out, but it's something to be aware of because it is definitely coming. And kind of a more to follow there. We're keeping a really close eye on it. We've talked to a lot of our operating partners of like, hey, do you even know how to upload your IDs? And they say we don't. We're not sure how to do that yet. But listen, we're all for it. We're all for any way to keep keep the bad guys away from using these platforms in a nefarious way. And we think it's a good thing. It's just going to take some time to work through the process.
Matt, is there a blog post coming on that? I didn't even know about that.
It's because there is still a lot of uncertainty of the process. We haven't published anything about it. We've just had internal conversations. I think no one's quite sure how it's going to work, but it's definitely on its way.
Okay, keep us.
And that's something, on the what I'd say the commercial real estate side, Gio, your side of the house. First off, we get a really good reception for operators about the anytime postage service, because they see it as a really good fit for sort of their higher end residential as well as office buildings as well. As long as they're manned. The key is that as long as there's somewhere that once the label is put on a package, that person can say, hey, take that package here, take it to reception or the concierge or down to the mailroom or what have you. But I think we're also going to see more of the commercial real estate industry understanding that they have to have a solution for better solutions for inbound and outbound mail as well. That isn't either nothing or some kind of base notification process.
So I noticed on your website it says something about depositing checks. So checks can be deposited through the system as well, or?
Yeah, they can be. Today it's a pretty manual process. But we're looking at ways to make that less manual, and I think it kind of falls into the category of it's in the development list to add a really sort of tech process to that. But I will say most of our operators do not offer check deposits today because it requires either scanning the back and the front of the check and uploading it as a scanned item, so someone could deposit it through their online banking in their app, which is a really sort of kludgy workaround, or they physically have to drop it off or send it to a bank. So that's sort of some next level operational processes, which a lot of operators aren't willing to on. I think it's going to be a nice thing to have in our bag of tricks, but that's a little farther out right now.
It's a good differentiator. The GWA has that service with car workplaces because, it's the kind of organization. It's like, well, who gets the checks? And nobody wants to get the checks and go to the bank.
Yeah.
So car does it for us. And it's one of those things like, whatever it costs, please just take care of that for us.
And you don't get lots of checks, but when you get one, I mean, when you get a check, you're like, well, what do I do with this? I mean, I know what I do. I deposit it on my phone, right? I mean, that's how everyone does it. And there's actually technology out there. It's just, it's a good reminder. Got to move it up the never-ending huge list.
So I'm curious, you operate a distributed team. Is the development team like in one place? Because Marcel is in Spain, is that right?
Singapore. Marcel's in Singapore. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, Marcel. Yeah. So we've never had an office, and we have just north of 80 people in the company now. And so when COVID hit, we were kind of, we were like, yeah, we've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
And but even for a distributed team, people still like to meet socially sometimes, right? So once things started loosening up, we did this thing. It's called the House Cup this year, which is a full year competition. So there's 4 folks on the executive team, myself and Marcel, and then Natalie, who runs sales and operations, and then Richard, who runs marketing. And so we have 4 teams in place, and with 20 or so folks on the team, and we have things like trivia contests. You can get points in the trivia contest, and we have a Zoom for that. You can get points. We give budget to everybody to get together for lunch or dinner, and you take photos of that and you get points for that. And it's all these activities that our HR team put together that I know Marcel and I were like, oh God, come on. And Natalie loves it. We're like, is this going to work? And do we have to, it sounds horrible, right? When you hear about it, but everybody's super pumped about it on Slack. People like, yeah, we're going to crush you and all this stuff. And we're going to have and so we're in second place, by the way. I'm happy to hear, happy to say we're doing pretty well. And so it's been a really great way to, and there's platforms for this, by the way. I can't remember the platform we use for it, but
I have to think there must be. It's like buying,
yeah,
I love it.
And it really matters. It's made a big difference. And we're going to have, an award ceremony. We're all getting together in January, the whole team. We're going to bring everybody in for that and have award ceremony. And people are fired up for it. So yeah, I think we have, we look at our monthly recurring expenses, and of course we have all these different platforms that are expensive, and we have Slack, we have WhatsApp, you name it. It seems like we have it, but all those things are, I think, I think really important, and we use them, and it's worked out really, really well for us.
Well, that's great. Well, I really appreciate you joining us. I know you are on a very special holiday with your lady. So we'll let you get back to her, and we got to let Jamie go so she doesn't get in trouble with her lady for being late, which then in turn means you and I are in trouble with her lady.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No. Well, really appreciate it. So awesome what you're doing. I think you're a breath of fresh air for this industry, just because you're so cool, calm, and collected at all times. I think it's awesome. You've been great for the GWA board and working with Jamie and Brandon on different special assignments. But really, really grateful that our paths have crossed and you took some time to meet with us today.
Well, thanks for all that, Gio. It's I really care. I like the industry. I get it. I care about it, and I'm happy to be part of it. Yeah, happy to be part of it. So thanks to both of you for asking me to join, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you around.
Of course. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
Thanks, Matt.
Bye-bye.